Hey guys, Vi here with another crazy fight from the depths of bronze. Now in the last episode you guys said you wanted to see a turnaround fight or throw, so this time we'll be looking at how you can have almost an 8,000 gold lead and still lose the fight. So at the start of this fight we can see Vi is now jumping onto Hecarim and Riven decides to show us how big her balls are and flashes onto Hecarim too. The rest of the blue team is now going to collapse onto Gragas with a great hook, and we can see Kennen decides he doesn't want to play AD anymore and dives straight in. Fiddle's charging his ultimate into the enemy team and Jinx lands her ultimate onto everyone as well. Fiddle now decides to play some mind games and he doesn't decide to move after the ult's change. She's just going to stand there and take repeated punches to the face. You can now see it's just clean up for blue team, and Vi is actually going to manage to escape with a great stun from Kennen, and they will actually pick up a few towers off this fight. So let's just jump back and break it apart then, because this fight was really lost by the red team rather than the blue team doing anything special. So right now this fight is about to kick off. Vi and Riven have jumped onto Hecarim and everyone is starting to collapse. The first thing I want to look at is Gragas, because he's really fed in this game and a major part of their damage. He's using his E here over the wall to collapse onto Riven because in his eyes it's a 3v2, but obviously the rest of blue team is just around the corner. Really you shouldn't fight in the jungle if you can't see the enemy team, because this exact thing can happen, but regardless of that you shouldn't use your E aggressively on Gragas in late game team fights unless it's on an isolated target. Your main damage will come from your barrels and your ultimate anyway, and even though you have all that body fat to protect you, you're still just an AP mid. This is one of the reasons the red team loses the fight. Gragas could have just stayed on the other side of the wall, thrown barrels all day and been completely safe. Now this isn't exactly a bad play, but it could have been used to more effect. So Riven with flash is really deadly for any AD. As soon as she gets on top of you, it's impossible to get away due to her mobility. Ideally here, she would have just saved the flash for when Jinx appeared and then immediately jumped onto her. Riven is built for destroying carries and not so much tanks, so using everything for Hecarim was a bit of a mistake. So as I said, you can now see the entire blue team collapsing in and nuking down Gragas, with Hecarim using his ultimate to try and dive in and save him. I'm going to pause this again because this is really the second way that the red team throw the fight. Now Jinx is in a really good spot right now because she is completely safe and can just do free damage to the entire blue team over the wall. If she had just stayed there, she would have easily mopped up this fight because Shen and Fiddle come in here to hold them in place next to the wall, and Jinx has great range with a lot of AoE damage. So what she actually does is run back and around to try and rejoin the fight, which means that she's doing no damage for a good portion of the fight. So while blue team do win this fight, individually they make a few mistakes which could end up being the difference in an even fight. So firstly, Kennen is the AD this game, which is pretty unconventional but not necessarily bad. He does however make the really common mistake of using his ult aggressively and diving into the middle of the enemy team. On AD Kennen, your ult doesn't do that much damage and you still have to play like a normal AD on the outskirts of a fight. Your ultimate is more of a defensive tool because as soon as someone comes near you, they have to walk through that ult and get stunned multiple times. So what Kennen should have done is just sit at the back of the fight and attack with auto attacks, activating his ult when he gets jumped on. The final thing really to highlight here is that Ahri is in the middle of everything at the moment. Her ult still has a reasonably good range, which means that you don't need to be right next to them, and in general it's better to try ult slightly forward and to the side like where I'm showing you now to avoid making yourself vulnerable. The final thing I want to show you really quickly is the importance of making the right choice rather than frag hunting. Now Shen taunted after Vi here because she's low on health, but all three of their carries are lined up here for a perfect taunt. Now if he had taunted all three, Jinx could put some good damage onto them and at least kill one of them, meaning that the fight would have ended even. She is full health right now and she has her cooldowns too, but she ends up getting no protection and in the end has to flash out. In the last video you guys also asked me to play the fights through at full speed after the analysis so you could see everything in real time, so here you go. So thanks for watching guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you let me know again what type of fight you want to see in the comments below, whether it's a throw again like this, a Baron fight, or maybe even something more even. Remember to like and subscribe this video, and you can also come and check me out on my own channel where I put out a bunch of League content to make you a better player and also make you laugh. That's all for today, but I will catch you in the next episode.